Grey's Anatomy was always going to hurt, we just didn't know when or how much. These aren't regular sad scenes, they're the ones that made us pause the episode, maybe even walk away. This video isn't a recap, it's a countdown of the most unforgettable heartbreaks, and it begins with 3 numbers you'll never forget. Stay with us, because next comes the moment that broke Meredith in half. A faceless John Doe is wheeled into the ER after pushing someone out of the path of a bus. He's burned, broken, unrecognizable. No one knows who he is, not yet. Then he grabs Meredith's hand. Barely conscious, he traces 3 numbers. 007. Everything stops because 007 isn't just a number, it's a nickname. The one George O'Malley earned back in season 1 after freezing during his first surgery. It meant he was clumsy. A joke even. And now, it's all he has left. In that moment, Meredith realizes the truth, and so do we. George is dying, no last words, no dramatic music, just one haunting moment of recognition before he flatlines. George, the heart of the show, gone, and it didn't even feel like a goodbye until it was. He died saving a stranger. Quiet, subtle, and completely devastating. And if that broke you, just wait. It was the goodbye we did see coming. We had time to prepare, and still, it ruined us. We'd been through so much with Derek Shepherd. The ferry crash, the plane crash, the shooting. Somehow, he always came back. He was the constant, the calm, the person who made Meredith believe in forever. So when that car flipped on a quiet road, we weren't ready. Derek was supposed to be safe. He had finally found peace, home from DC, in love, grounded. He stopped to help strangers after a crash, being the hero, as always. Then came his own accident. But here's the twist. Derek didn't die on impact. He was awake, aware. A neurosurgeon with a brain injury. He knew exactly what was happening. He narrated it in his mind. He could have saved himself, if only he'd been taken to Gray Sloan. Instead, he was brought to a small hospital with no trauma team, no CT scan, no neuroconsult. Critical minutes wasted. It wasn't the crash that took him. It was medical negligence. And when Meredith sat in that hallway, silent, still, waiting, we felt the weight of it all. No music, no words, just the quiet unraveling of everything. But the worst part? It didn't end there. Because next, Meredith walks through her front door and has to find the strength to say what no child should ever hear, that their father, Derek Shepherd, is never coming home. We've seen Meredith lose patients, friends, even family, but this is different. This time, she's not a surgeon, she's not Dr. Gray, she's just mom. There's no operating room, no blood, no alarms, just a mother sitting her children down, and we already know what she's about to say, but that doesn't make it any easier, because how do you tell your kids that their dad, their hero, is gone? She does it the only way she can, with heartbreaking simplicity. I need to tell you something, and then, silence. Zola starts to cry. Bailey doesn't understand. And Meredith? She's holding it all in because she doesn't get to fall apart. Not yet. This moment didn't need a monologue. It didn't need a dramatic score or fast edits. It was quiet, real, raw. Just a woman trying to stay strong for the 2 little people who just lost their whole world. And as we sit with that silence, something shifts. Another hospital door opens. Another life reaches its final chapter. But this time, it's not just about death. It's about the one goodbye that left the entire hospital in shock because no one saw it coming. It was supposed to be a celebration. The hospital threw a prom for the chief's niece, and upstairs, Izzy was finally getting her happy ending. Denny got his heart. He was stable. They were in love. It felt like something good might finally last. But in Grey's Anatomy, happy endings come with a clock, no alarms, no warning, just Izzy walking in and finding Denny already gone, and she collapses next to him, still in her prom dress, still full of hope, frozen in that bed, like time itself stopped. Then Alex walks in. And this isn't cocky Alex. This is the version we didn't know we needed. Quiet, heartbroken, and steady. He says nothing. He just lifts her out of that bed like she's made of glass, like he's carrying the both of them through it. That one image, it gutted us, because this wasn't just the end of Denny and Izzy. It was the moment we realized that on Grey's, love doesn't protect anyone. And if you think that was cruel, just wait until someone confesses their feelings right before fate gives them no time left. They had just started to find their way back to each other. After years of almost, missed timing, and heartbreak, Lexie finally says it. I love you. I always have. She tells Mark everything, her truth, her hope, and for 1 second, we believe they might still have a future, that this show, for once, might give us a win. But Grey's Anatomy has a pattern, and just 2 episodes later, the plane goes down. Lexie is trapped under the wreckage. Mark finds her, but it's too late, so he lies beside her. And in what might be the most devastating goodbye of the entire series, he tells her they had a future, that they would have had a house, kids, a life. She dies in his arms, still believing in that life. And Mark, he survives the crash, but only for a little while, because some love stories don't end at once. They unravel slowly, quietly, until there's nothing left. And just when we've said goodbye to Mark and Lexie, another goodbye hits even harder. Because what if the next person never even got the chance to grow up? Next, a tiny heartbeat, a nursery full of hope, and a goodbye that came before her first word. Grace has never shied away from pain, but sometimes it reminds us that strength doesn't always come from screaming. It can come from simply standing still. In season 15, we meet Abby, a woman brutally assaulted and about to undergo surgery. She's scared, not just of the pain, but of the shame, the memory, the loneliness. But when she's wheeled toward the OR, she sees them. Every female staff member in Grey Sloan lined up in the hallway, shoulder to shoulder, silent, still, unshakable. They're not there to speak. They're there to be seen, so she can feel seen. This wasn't a death scene, but it shattered us all the same. Because Grey's doesn't just show trauma, it shows what healing can look like. And sometimes healing starts when one woman doesn't have to walk alone. No dialogue, no music, just solidarity. But while Abby made it through her darkest hour, another fan favorite won't. Because next, we return to a hospital room, a monitor, and a heart that just won't keep beating, no matter how badly we want it to. Some goodbyes don't come with sirens or heartbreak. Some slip in quietly and still wreck you. Christina Yang wasn't dying. There was no crash, no code blue. She was just leaving. But for Meredith and for us, it felt like the heart of the show was being pulled away. They were everything together. Twisted sisters, dancing through grief, chaos, heartbreak, and surgeries. And now Christina was heading to Zurich, a new chapter for her. But for us, it was the end of an era. They didn't fall apart, they didn't cry, they danced to their song one last time, and somehow that final dance said more than any farewell speech ever could. Then Christina turns and says the line that stays with us, "You're not the sun. He is not the sun. You are." She doesn't just leave Meredith with advice, she leaves her with power, with permission to become everything she's meant to be. A goodbye wrapped in empowerment. But just wait until the very end, because the quietest goodbye, it came from the one who always said the least. Happy ending. Grey's Anatomy never promised us happy endings, but it gave us something just as powerful. Growth, survival, and the kind of love that doesn't always look like a fairy tale. We watched characters fall apart and rebuild, lose everything, and somehow still show up the next day. And in the quietest moments, in the surgeries, the losses, the dance parties, we found pieces of ourselves. Because maybe that's the secret. It was never just about heartbreak, it was about healing, too. So if you're still here, still watching, still crying, that means something. It means you care. It means these stories lived in you. And trust me, we're not done yet. Because the next goodbye, it doesn't shout. It doesn't even whisper. It just closes a locker and walks away. And somehow, that might be the most unforgettable one of all.